世界 voice.
世界 voice.
You can call me Nora. I am 22 years old. I'm just a student. Law. No, I live in Beijing and I go to Shanghai for travel, visit my friend, and this friend will go to Tokyo with me. Actually, I don't have an actual plan now because it's my friend. He loves Japanese culture. Because I watched some soap opera. I think it's a very modern city. I have saw Tokyo Love Story. It's popular in my mom's age, and I watch it with her. And there is also a TV series in Chinese website called Bilibili. Yeah, it means, I think, let me check, because I don't know its Japanese name. This one. Let me see. I mean, my image about Tokyo is a very modern, popular, modern. My generation, I'm 22 years old, and my generation, I can say we watch manga and since we are very young, like 5 or 6, we watch like I think we are very friendly, and many of my friends have very good image on Japan, and they love to travel or watch their cultural products. Yeah, I think in your nation, women's are there. They don't have many respect. Yeah, I think men in Japan are in a higher position. At least, I don't think China do well, do very good as well. Once women get married, they maybe don't need or cannot to work. And I think have a job is very, very important. I think it's food, because me and my friend, just that friend will go to Japan with me. We often eat, so I will expect that if I go to Japan, we will taste and drink some more authentic in Japan.
Sorry, my name's Andrew Marsh. I'm 34. I teach at university in Shanghai. My subject, business English. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, and so Pacers, MBA-wise, and it's by Chicago. I came here for the job itself. I studied, I got my master's, I came here to teach at the university level. Yeah, I had keen interest in Korean, Japanese, Chinese culture. I have been to Tokyo, yes. In Shanghai, I really like life. I think this city is very safe. It has everything that I could possibly want. It's probably the best city I can imagine living in. I really love the fact that I come from America, so I'd have to travel by car everywhere, and I'd have to pay for fuel. And now the metro system, the public transport is very convenient, right? I'd have in the U.S. I have to worry about crime. There are parts of my city you don't go to. There are parts of the city you do go to. But in Shanghai, I feel like I can go pretty much anywhere, and I feel safe. I feel the same way for my family. So I really feel those two things about convenience and safety. That's what I love most about Shanghai. I love how convenient it is for me to get around all the city, and I mean all of it. The metro system is the best system in the world. It connects everything, pretty much, and anything that isn't connected has a very intuitive bus system. So whether you don't have to order a taxi, You don't have to drive your personal vehicle. You can get anywhere. And of course, safety-wise, I'm very much a fan, coming from my American environment, being able to live somewhere where I don't have to worry about someone coming with a gun to a bashing. Sorry, there's zero possibility. Yeah, that's something I'm quite a fan of. Not having, I had a lot of shooting drills when I was in school, when I was in high school, mostly high school. There were drills where we would find the best place to hide in case an active shooter came. In Shanghai, you still have to worry about maybe there might be a knife attack at schools, of course, but the danger of guns, it has been eliminated, so you don't have to worry about mass casualties, which is a blessing in my eyes, yeah. I would think that there are places, I like spicy, and it would be better for me to be a place like Sichuan, I imagine, but yeah, like take for example, I just went to a restaurant and I ordered spicy and I could barely taste the spice. And maybe that's an aspect of Shanghai. It's not as easy to get spicy food. I guess something that I really admire about Tokyo is how clean and organized everything is. I think Japan runs a very tight ship. I like Japan in general. I think it's a good role model for a lot of civilizations. I think that I really enjoyed just the urban environment of Tokyo, the safety. Of course, I just love safety. I don't know. Weird. So the thing about the USA that I really appreciate, and I know this from my own personal experience, like I can say this, but I have an experience where I'm in a relationship where my partner is travel banned, you know, for something that her family did. And that is something that's very hard to redress. And maybe this is an aspect of Asian culture, but to blame children for the sins of their fathers, that's something that we don't have in the US. So in the US, if you commit a crime, you as an individual are held responsible. If whatever they did, regardless of how it may have financially benefited you, those family members are not going to be banned from leaving the country or fined, or, well, maybe it's complicated. But I believe that the US would be more individual focused. And maybe this is an Asia thing, but it's more on the family unit or the collective focus. So there's that. So something I really like about my country is being able to have that individual focus and a lot of the freedoms that come with this focus. But I will say it's a double-edged sword, and with a lot of freedoms that US gives us, it also leads to a lot of people abusing those freedoms and creates some chaos at times.
My name is Ari. I'm from the Netherlands, a small town called Wageningen. I'm 33 years old. I'm a consultant in the pharmaceutical industry. I really like Shanghai. Normally I don't like really big cities. In the city where I live in Netherlands, it's 30,000 people maybe. And then here there's almost double the amount of people than my whole country. So I felt like, oh, I'm gonna feel very crowded, but everything, I mean, there is the crowds everywhere, but for some reason it's pretty tolerable for me. But it's very nice. There's a lot of stuff to do. There is very interesting architecture. There is a lot of nice food everywhere. The thing about Shanghai I like the most, it's very big, but it's still very accessible. The metro system works really well, and it's even understandable for somebody that doesn't read or speak Chinese. So it's a very low effort to go from one side of the city to this side of the city and enjoy all the views and eat the different foods. The thing I like the least, or the thing that I have to get used to the most here, is the noise, because I'm from a small town, and then you come here and it's never quiet. It's something to really get used to. There's no quiet everywhere. There are these bugs in the trees that for the first 4 days I couldn't focus on anything. I couldn't hear people speak because I just hear the trees making noise. I think it's around 10 years ago. It was also just tourism. I went there on a trip with my father. He was working and he had to give a speech on a congress. And then he said, do you want to come with me? And I thought, yeah. When I went to Tokyo, it was the first time to really go to a city where there's millions of people living there. So I was very impressed with all the people. You know, when you go with the metro anywhere and there's just people everywhere. The buildings were very tall. It's very different also culture-wise, how people dress, how they speak, compared to like Western Europe. This is the noise from the tree I was talking about. It's really annoying. But yeah, in Tokyo, I just remember I felt very impressed with the number of people, and it's also very different. In the Netherlands, I'm just like this much below average height, and then in Tokyo, I remember like I feel so tall. Well, after being for a few days in Tokyo, both my father and I were thinking like it's a bit too crowded. We need to get a little bit away, and we took a day trip to Mount Fuji. So that's something that's really stuck in my memory, because in Netherlands we don't have any mountain. So then going up the mountain and enjoying the view, and we had a very good day because there wasn't, you know, normally there's the big cloud around the top of Fuji. It wasn't that day. So we were really able to go up, and there was still the last bit of the cherry blossom. So it was very beautiful. There was the language barrier, but then you know, if you download Google Translate, you can manage really fine, and the people were very polite. Like if you ask somebody for directions in Tokyo, somebody would just bring us there and then say like, okay, thank you, I go back to work now. Where normally I would just expect people to say like, you know, you go that way. So I don't have any memory of Tokyo that I didn't like. Yeah, well, the food in Shanghai, for me, it's a bit too spicy every now and then, so I really have to ask them like, bula bula, I don't want spicy food. And in Tokyo, I remember we went to this tuna auction like at very early in the morning, and then afterwards I ate some tuna, and they said like, you know, this was caught last night, like 8 hours ago. I remember it's very, very tasty. Chopsticks, I learned it during that holiday in Tokyo. Before we went to Tokyo, we stayed in Seoul, South Korea for a week, and there somebody taught me how to use the chopsticks. No, I have no problem eating with chopsticks. In Netherlands, we also eat a lot with chopsticks, because if my fiance is cooking, then we will have Chinese food, and then we eat with chopsticks or spoon. Yeah, to help with the language barrier, definitely download a translation app, and then in Google Translate, if you don't want to use the data, like if you're in a place without Wi-Fi in Google, you can download the language and you can use it offline. For people coming to China, you know, you're not gonna have a lot of access to your usual social media without a VPN, so definitely if you really want to have the access, download a VPN. And otherwise there is some apps you really need to have. Here in China you need Alipay, you need WeChat, you need A-Maps to get around pretty much.